What's going on, gang? Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at Transformers Generations Deluxe Class Crosscut. Gonna open him up in a second just to take a look, but just wanted to let you know he is a retool of Transformers Generations Deluxe Class Skids. And to be honest, I didn't think this guy was actually coming out. I found him at Toys R Us. And that was the only Generations figure they had. I'm not kidding. This was the only one, other than Combiner Wars. This guy was the only Generations figure on the pegs and the shelves. There were like 20 of him. I don't know why. I have no clue why this was the only one. Right out of the box, Crosscut looks pretty darn good. And I absolutely love the shiny red paint on the feet, crotch, hands, missiles, and head. I think that paint is absolutely fantastic. Now this figure has some real issues. All of the ball joints on this figure are way too loose, except for the ones on the arms. The arm ball joints are fine. The hip and ankle ball joints are a real problem. The guy just does not want to stay in poses very well. I kind of already cheated and put some drops of super glue in the joints already, so I'm able to at least get him to stand. Now, out of the box, he was just a mess. So I'm recording this review a few hours later than when I started. So just be aware of that, guys. If you do pick this up, do be aware that there are some mold issues. But once I could get him to stand, he actually looks really good. I think Crosscut looks even cooler once you hide all of his weapons. And he does have the combining weapons, so the little mini Tommy gun or grenade launcher he has slides into the laser rifle, creating one big gun. Just wanted to show you that. Again, with all of his weapons hidden, he doesn't look nearly as cluttered, and he looks just as cool. In fact, I think he looks better than Skids. Now, that's not to say that there isn't any problems with the figure, paint-wise. Especially looking here on the hood, you see how the plastic is marring in certain spots. And you see that all over the silver. What I'm probably going to do if I ever have the time is repaint the figure with a flat silver and then finish with a glossy coat. That way it'll make it really pop and should hide some of that marred plastic. But otherwise, man, the silver and the red, that's a winning paint job right there. Oddly enough, this figure looks like he's going to have light piping, but then you notice that his eyes are painted over, and he has very little bit of light piping. Very, very little around those yellow irises. Very weird decision, but I understand why they did it. It looks kind of better this way. And here we have the Mold Brothers together. We have Crosscut on the left and Skids on the right. And I have to admit, I like Crosscut better. I just love that head sculpt and the red paint. It just makes the figure or the mold look so much better. I'm not saying Skids looks bad, but Crosscut here, definitely my favorite of the two. One other issue that the figure has that's not a huge deal breaker, but something you need to be aware of, are the shoulder joints. The ball joints are actually in these little cups here, and they have a tendency to just kind of flop about a bit more than you would like. I don't want to risk putting any glue in there because of the way the transformation works, but just something to be aware of because they're definitely looser on Crosscut than they are on Skids, and it's just something you should be aware of. Transformation for Crosscut is exactly the same as Skids. Now, if you've ever transformed Skids before, you know how this is going to go. The first thing we're going to do is take the hips and rotate them 180 degrees until they lock into place. Then take the feet, turn them so that the feet are now pointing to the back of where the legs are, and fold them up to the sides of the legs. Then we can sandwich the legs together and hope everything lines up. Sometimes it doesn't, but you can kind of fiddle with it and get everything to line up correctly. We'll do that later. Next, come up to the chest and fold the chest out. Flip the head into the chest that you just folded out until everything snaps into place, and then kind of swing the chest up and over the shoulders. Then come to the backpack and move the backpack down away from the figure. We flip the hood up over the body and then push the arms in, creating the front of the car mode and flipping the shoulder cannons up again. You don't want to flip the shoulder cannons up again. That's something I've noticed with this guy versus Skids, is the shoulder cannons have a tendency to flip out very easily. come to the backpack of the figure, fold the windscreen down and snap it into place. Take the arms and actually kind of bend them and bend them pointing out. And then this joint right underneath the wheel, you push that in order to get the arm to peg into place, just above where the hips are. And that does take a good bit of force. Next, come to where the feet are and fold the toes in to where the wheels were, and don't go too far like I just did, otherwise you will pop the little bit out. And make sure you put the darn thing back on correctly if you do. So we then try and get the legs to sandwich together. I try to just do it as best I can. Sometimes it doesn't work. So fold up the leg until it comes flush with the what were the shins. Get those folded up and flush into place. Hopefully now you can peg the back into itself. Push the roof line back down into place. Fold the doors over, and then snap the side windows and doors into place. Crosscut's alt mode is that of a souped up little sports car. And I dig it. I like it a lot. It kind of reminds me of a rally car, in all honesty, though a rally car with really low profile tires. It's a very, very cool little alt mode. Like I said, I like it a lot. It's just nifty. And I think the paint job's better than Skids, in all honesty. I like it a lot. I keep saying I like it a lot. That's because I do. Now, comparing Crosscut with Skids, as you can see, they are exactly the same mold, but I like Crosscut's alt mode. I just like it so much better than Skids. It just works for me much, much better. It's just got better paint, though I do appreciate the silver on Skids. From the side here, Skids has the nice stripe, but Crosscut has this really black stripe that looks awesome. And I feel like the detailing on Crosscut is just better than on Skids. Not to say Skids is bad or anything, I just like Crosscut better. And you can deck out Crosscut with his weapons in alt mode. Again, this alt mode is fantastic, and the figure's not bad. Yes, it has issues. It has several issues, which I've already outlined for you in this video review. But I like Crosscut. I think it's a really nice use of the mold, and it's kind of better than Skids in my opinion, especially the use of the Autobot symbol. I mean, look at that. Crosscut has a nice big Autobot symbol. Skids has an off-center little crappy sticker. So this mold, I think Crosscut is the one to get. So guys, as I said, I bought this at Toys R Us, and there were like 20 of them there. So check out your local Toys R Us. They might have this guy there if you want to pick him up. So I hope you have enjoyed this video review. As always, I am Baltmatrix, asking you to please like, comment, and subscribe. And please be sure to check out my next video review.